talking to Jeannie Fishwick, and Jeannie's with the Roanoke Arts Commission. Jeannie, thank you for joining us today. We want to talk about, the Roanoke Arts Commission oversees the funding in our community for arts and culture organizations. Talk a little bit about how that money works. How do you put that money to work in our community?
Well, thank you so much for having me. We're excited about the work of the Roanoke Arts Commission and feel very lucky that our city has committed to funding arts and cultural organizations within the city. We have a grant program. It's a grant funded by the city budget every year, and organizations are invited to apply for that grant. It is a program grant, not a facilities or administrative grant, but any 501c3 arts organization that's been serving the city for more than 3 years is eligible to apply. Okay. And we give grants everywhere from $500 for small organizations up to $30,000 for some of our largest partners.
Well, why does the city do this? Why provide the money?
Well, they provide the money for a lot of reasons. Arts and culture is known to be an important lifestyle, quality of life incentive for any city resident. Right. And they've also learned recently in a lot of studies that it's quite an economic boost, that people do come into the city to visit museums, to go to concerts, and it really is an important part of tourism that helps with economic development.
And so what makes an organization eligible? Somebody's interested.
Any arts organization that functions within the city of Roanoke has some connection to the city. They do have to be a functioning 501c3 with a nonprofit board, and they also have to have been serving the city for more than 3 years. So we need to see organizations that are established. Okay. Most of the organizations that we work with do partnerships, so perhaps with the city schools, or maybe 2 organizations will partner together. Southwest Virginia Ballet and the Taubman Museum have done some partnerships, things like that. But that's the basic criteria.
So give us some examples of how we could see some of these funds at work in our community. What are some examples?
Well, you really see it everywhere. If you've been by a mural on a city building, that was funded by the Roanoke Arts Commission. So public art, some of the sculptures on Elmway Walk or along the Greenway are funded. We often are partners with the Taubman Museum for some of their big exhibits, Mill Mountain Theater for some of their shows. The Virginia Children's Theater goes into every classroom, every second grade classroom in the city, and we work with them on their project on learning and theater. So you really see us everywhere. We're probably more visible in the city than you think about it. If you stop and look for our logo where you go, you'll see us often.
So one thing that's happened this year is COVID-19. Talk about how the pandemic has impacted the arts and our partners for arts types initiatives.
Well, as you can imagine, it's been a really tough time for the arts community. I will say I'm overwhelmed by how creative they've been in continuing to serve art and creative interest in spite of the pandemic. We're very fortunate that our city added extra funding with a CARES grant, so that organizations that had gotten previous grants or who were really struggling could apply for the CARES grant and get a little extra funding. In addition to arts organizations, some of that money went to restaurants to hire musicians or local performers. A lot of live performances were not getting gigs, and so by help funding restaurants, we not only helped the restaurant business, but we helped live artists be able to perform. So we're very grateful that that money was available and has been distributed.
So it's helping these organizations get through
a tough time.
The impact of the COVID-19. And how long have you volunteered with the city in this?
Well, to be on the Roanoke Arts Commission, you're appointed by City Council. You apply and are appointed for a 3-year term. You can serve a maximum of 3 3-year terms, and I am actually just a few months from the end of my 9 years. So I've been involved for a long time. It's been a great experience. I'm not an artist myself, but I'm an art lover, and I really see the value of it in the city. So I'm thrilled to have had this 9 years working with this great organization and with a wonderful support of City Council.
Anything that we didn't mention that you want to add about the arts and the importance of it? And
just to support the arts in the community. Sometimes we hear rumblings that we shouldn't have money going to the arts. The arts are an incredibly valuable part of quality of life in the city. And everyone from a child to a senior citizen benefits from having a city-funded arts program. And we are so fortunate that our city recognizes that. It's really a very progressive arts program for a city this size. We're really proud of their forward thinking with the arts.
If somebody was watching and had questions, is there a contact information that someone they can call?
RoanokeArts.org is a great place to start. All of our information's on the website. You can also do a virtual walking tour of the public art in the city and see what we funded and where it's available and enjoy it that way too. Or call the Arts and Cultural Office. Doug Jackson is our director, and he loves to talk to the citizens of Roanoke about art. So pick up the phone and call, or check us out on the website.
Okay. Well, Jeannie, thank you for sharing all that with us.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Sure.